it is sort of the centered question. Is this time different? What do you think?
I mean, I think it is to some degree, right? I think, the mentality and price action of tech really started to shift after Labor Day. And right now, as we speak, the same issues kind of we talked about a couple of weeks ago are the same. You have rising yields, and the bias there does feel like it's upward as the world and monetary policy return to more normalization. Elevated valuations have been an issue with tech always. And then you have fading pandemic tailwinds, crowded positioning. Everyone piled back into the sector in late August and early September. And then I think, just pointing back to valuations, there's clearly some fear here. I mean, look at the charts of Cathie Wood's flagship ARC. Goldman has a couple of, no-profit tech indices. These things are just getting absolutely caned today, down about 4% each. So, yeah, I do think things are different. And then you have on the regulatory front, I still view the Epic Apple ruling as a bigger issue than what's going on with Facebook. But clearly the whistleblower last night on 60 Minutes is going to have an impact on Capitol Hill. Right.
We did have sort of remnants of this conversation early in the year where we were looking for the NDX to give back, 8 to 10%. And then there is inevitably a point at which structural growth becomes the story again, longer-term innovation, productivity, the reinvention of IT, things that came out of the pandemic. When do you think that conversation starts to happen in earnest?
Yeah, I mean, the bulls clearly want to shift the narrative back to that kind of story. We know that the investments in AI, 5G, high-performance computer aren't slowing anytime soon. Digital transformation is only going to accelerate. But the reality is, I think what's different this time is also throwing, I didn't even mention that, supply chain headaches seem like they're only going to worsen. And I think, we got a flurry of confessions in September, whether it was, from the airline industry, industrial complex, the automotive guys continue to blame, semi shortages on their revenue downfall. Micron highlighted it on their call as well recently. And I think that's going to be a big source of frustration. And it's going to impact tech, whereas, say, 3 months ago, people kind of shrugged it off. But I mean, I think now you're going to see, downward bias to guidance when these management teams roll out to the podiums to speak, and that to me is the biggest issue. On top of positioning, which kind of we know tech's always is always the crowded space.